Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode where this time I experiment with a new format and I have a guest. We are joined by someone with over 25 years in tech. He's an ex-Cisco engineer who's done everything from networking and security engineering, full stack development and infrastructure engineering with several patents to his name. As an engineering leader, he has a gift for building highly effective teams and delivering impactful features, some of which have been showcased at Cisco Live keynotes, which is a big event by the way, and highlighted in CEO shareholder quarterly earning calls. Beyond engineering, he has a deep passion for music and media production. Through his personal blog, algorithm.com, and music channel with over 3,000 subscribers, he shares insights on everything from AI engineering to music composition. These days, he's an independent entrepreneur diving deep into the world of AI, building innovative products with AI development tools. Please welcome a longtime friend of mine, Alvin Wong. Alvin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Pitt, thanks for having me. It's going to be a fun conversation, I think. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me first, how are you doing in general?
Oh, I'm doing great. So I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. So it's wintertime. Getting close to wintertime. We're still in late fall. It's getting cold. It's getting dark. Perfect time for podcasts and hacking and learning at home, I guess. How are you doing?
Yeah, totally. So I'm recording this from London as usual, and it's similar here. Like we already had some kind of like a winter feeling for a few days, and now it's actually big bump. So from about 5 degrees, we have now 16, and it caused some like a serious blows and like almost like a tornado over a weekend.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that sounds great that it's warmer, but then you got some anomalies of tornado.
Yeah, totally. And then we decided to stay in home with family, just doing nothing, like lazy weekend, to be honest. And that's going to be actually my first topic. I wanted to recommend some movie to you.
Okay.
It's interesting because the movie is actually from 2014, but we just discovered it because we were talking about spies. we like spy movies and so on, and I kind of know it, but it never been like very, very popular story. But it's true story. So there was a guy called Colonel Ryszard Kuklinski in Poland. He lived during Cold War. And for people who don't know, and maybe you, Alvin, don't know, so after Second World War, there was this idea and concept of Iron Curtain. So between Soviet Union and today's Russia, they divided between West and East. And we, being Poland, were under Russian, I would say, occupation. It was still a separate country, but it was pretty much part of the Soviet Union. And not everyone liked it, and obviously, there was some opposition that it was quite brutally, suspended. And some of the guys who were in the Polish army were also thinking like, this is not right. I mean, especially that at some point there was plan to actually like nuclear war. And when one of these Polish colonels found it, I mean, he decided to contact CIA in West Germany, and he decided to just send them all materials for free. So he was kind of spy, but his motivation were, I would say, patriotic. And there's a movie about it. It's actually quite good movie, like spy movie, but based on true story, where the action is mostly in Poland. And this is one of these movies where they kept like original languages. So the movie is cooperation between the Polish studio and USA studio, like you would see Hollywood productions and so on. And whenever I mean, there's action in USA, or there is the CIA guys talking. It's like usual spy movie. But then when action is in Poland, they kept Polish actors. And then part of this is also in Russia, in Soviet Union, so they kept Russian. There are subtitles, and the movie, I mean, to me, because it's close to my heart and everything, is absolutely fantastic as a spy movie. So I highly recommend. The movie is called Jack Strong. It's from 2014. And it's one of these political thrillers that is based on true story. So it's extra motivation. And I also knew the story before, but I watched it on the verge on my on my chair at some point. So it's a really good, well done movie.
Wow. Okay, so it's 2014. It's called Jack Strong.
Jack Strong. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's about Richard
Kuklinski. Yeah.
Kuklinski? Okay. I haven't heard about this story. It sounds pretty intense. Yeah.
The interesting thing is that CIA, I mean, I don't know for now, because now could change, but not very long time ago, they considered this information and this cooperation the most significant like spy story or collaboration within like espionage field. Because of information that this person shared. So for me, it's like mind-blowing. Like, it wasn't popular when I grew up, and it's still not popular, but it was one of the factors that, the Soviet Union collapsed, and we live in free world now.
Oh, I'm surprised I haven't heard much about this. I wonder if it was classified or like only kind of recently put out, or
I would need to check this, because this is a good question. I think what happened was that even in Polish spheres, this person was a traitor. Was treated as a traitor because he shared information to foreign superpower and so on. But it was actually, I mean, now he's a hero. But for a long time, even straight after communist fall, they kept this secret because A, obviously it was big caliber, and B, the narratives around this story was that he was a traitor, right?
I see. So they delve more into the psychology and the moral dilemma that he went through, like within the movie. Obviously, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And you see the different perspectives on it and how it came to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is actually a good point. It tells story about his personal dilemmas and personal life as well, because he couldn't tell anyone.
Oh wow. I love good espionage movies, and not like, just the James Bond and Jason Bourne type of whiz bang type, but also the more subtle ones. There seems to be quite a bit coming out lately. Yeah, I think there's was it The Agency with Michael Fassbender or something coming out? But yeah, some good ones. Okay, I'll check that out. Thanks for sharing that. I guess it's my turn, right? With our our format, maybe. I don't know if we shared with the audience what the format is of this Coffee Journeys random call or random topic.
Random coffee. There is no format.
Well,
we just talk about good stuff that we find out, and let's do one by one. So maybe we can see what you prepare.
I prepared 3 things. 2 of them are, actually all of them are around being more productive as an engineer, software engineering background and network engineering, kind of like you, Pitt. So first one I'm going to start off with is the tool called Obsidian.md.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, Obsidian.md. It is a note-taking tool, and I know what you're thinking, like, oh, yet another note-taking tool. Like, what is this? I have Notepad on my Apple devices. Maybe someone's using Evernote or using Notion, all that kind of stuff. This one is a free note-taking piece of software. It's very new, and it has clients across all your usual platforms. And the great thing is that you can synchronize all your access and the notes that you're taking on all the clients. So whether you pull it up on your iPhone or on a Mac or even on a PC, as long as you got the software, you're able to see it. Again, that's probably sounds like nothing special versus like Evernote and stuff like that. But the good thing is that it's free and you can set it up yourselves. And the data of where it's stored, you can decide where that lives. And if you have iCloud, for example, you can just say, this folder is my Obsidian vault.
Vault, yeah, okay.
And within that vault, the format of all the notes are just pure markdown files. So you can literally go in there and grab your markdown files. You can even drop in markdown files that you might be writing, separately on your hard drive or wherever it is. And it'll just make it available, and also give you a very nice markdown editor, obviously with this note-taking tool. So that's a bit different than OneNote and everything else, where it's kind of locked in and you're kind of stuck to that format, and it's hard to pull it out and export it. This one is literally just, you can look at it, a bunch of plain text files. The other huge value is it has a big plugin library. So lots of customization you can do. Obviously with markdowns, you can do like links. So you can do like internal links to other markdown files.
Okay.
And it can actually do a visual representation and graph tags that you even put in these markdown files, and all the internal links that they're pointing to each other. So you can start to see like a map of everything that you've been note-taking about and how they relate to each other, right? So let's say you have a meeting with someone and you're talking about, I don't know, AI. You might put a hashtag AI there, and then you might also have a backlink to an like a blog that you've been writing on, and it relates to this meeting. So you might put a kind of a URL internal link to that other file, and so this graph kind of builds you up, kind of a neat map of your knowledge. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it could be a little bit gimmicky, but it's, if it comes for free, maybe. And it also helps you with organizing, how different things link to each other, doing it that way.
Okay.
Finally, the other thing I wanted to mention was these vaults with all these MD files. You can actually combine them with something like Misty.app. So MSTY.app. So this is another company, another piece of software that's available for free. It's a client that is a front-end client for large language models.
Okay.
So whether you give it your OpenAI tokens on the internet, or you can use Ollama locally on your laptop. And what Misty will do is have a very simple integration button that you can say, add my Obsidian vault, and it will just automatically index it all. And then from then on, when you query with Misty, it will search through your Obsidian stack, they call it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yes. Yeah. So you don't have to build this crazy RAG or anything like that. It tries to do its best job. And then you can start talking to the LLM about your notes. So if you've built up a huge bunch of notes, it might find some insights in different places and stuff like that. Yeah, and the value of using it with Ollama locally is that you can also keep it very private to your laptop and not send it to a third-party provider. So yeah, I know that was a lot to cover there. Many different strings of products and services, and all of them free. But
I have follow-up questions.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So first of all, I mean, it's fantastic, because I'll tell you why in a moment. But first question, does it support like images to place into the text? Because you mentioned Markdown, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I believe you can put images in there in your traditional like Markdown link format to point to where the JPEG or PNG files are. But that's a good question. I'm not sure if the image it saves right into the vault itself, or you're referencing it somewhere. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But yeah, I'm also surprised I haven't been using images dumped right in, but I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, we should check.
I'm asking because at the moment I use similar tool called Drafts. You can check getdrafts.com. And that's super simple. Like it does what it says. Like it's for your drafting. But the superpower of it is that it's like similar to kind of like a email inbox feeling. So on the left you have your drafts. In the main section you have your actually draft that you're working on. On the right hand side section you have something they call actions. And I think action is only on like a pro version, but this is like processing powerhouse. Like you can do action for everything, like sending, saving, reformatting, sending to another tool, many things. But the one thing that is, and it's also mainly for Markdown. So that's perfect. I like this format. You can send it to Git, whatever. I mean, to even to your podcast, tweet about it. Like there is powerful engine for these actions. But one thing is missing is images. So it's only for text. And the reason I am so excited about what you just shared is that I've been thinking about creating a little pet project that I can talk to my blog. Or ask question like, did I cover it? Where was it covered? Like this story, that tool, this framework or whatever. And I started with like simple Python tool just to download everything and convert to Markdown. And now I'm stuck because step to build my personal AI kind of assistant where it sits on my laptop. I mean, it's a big step, but what you just said, if it's that kind of natural integration, I mean, that will save a lot because I already have Markdown files.
Yeah.
If I start using Obsidian and integrate with this AI engine, I would say, I mean, that's already kind of what I want.
That's pretty compelling. Yeah. And you don't have to go and figure it out on your own and be complex. So by the way, I also just checked, you can just drag and drop any JPEG or PNG or whatever image file, and it'll automatically save it to your vault, the image file, and it'll do the correct image tags to make it render. It's kind of what you expect.
Right.
It would do. It will just, load it and then put a link.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So
nice.
I learned something new too. All right. That was and I'm not sponsored, by the way, by any of these companies. This is just completely, what's worked well so far that I've learned over the last, couple months that's been really improving my note-taking game or productivity game.
And that's exactly what our goal here is, like to share what's working. And I'm also learning a lot. And I also have a good next step for my pet project.
Awesome. All right. I guess we'll share like show notes and links and all that
kind
of stuff
totally.
On your site. Okay. Oh, back to you, Pitt.
Okay. So we touched on AI, obviously, and I want to talk about AI. And I don't know if you came across this super big document, which is called State of AI Report 2024.
No, I haven't. Who's it by? Or I guess you'll tell us.
So this is a comprehensive overview of the artificial intelligence landscape for 2024. It's in the form of slide deck containing over 200 slides. And it's, if you want to Google or just go, it's stateof.ai. And I mean, it's huge, but I was thinking how I can navigate this huge topic. So I will tell you how I started using AI in 2024. And I would like to touch on 3 less obvious predictions for next 12 months, which is part of this huge document. I mean, it covers a ton of stuff, like from research highlights, industry development, political landscape, safety concerns, like a lot of stuff there. But I want to first start personal, so how I started in 2024. And I mentioned this drafts tool, and it's got action repository, I think, so you can download action that other folks are writing for drafts. And one of them is actually plugin for ChatGPT. How I use it, I use all sort of plugins, I would say. I mean, not only for drafts, but for everything, where this is one of the strengths that AI is becoming kind of like a back-end engine for a lot of things that we use in daily basis. And I think this is where it all is going. And I started doing this with drafts, where the most used one is just simple command, clarify what I just said and correct grammar or something along these lines, because it's so easy and so simple. It's surprisingly good. And then I use also like agent-like podcast companion. And then finally, I created a tutor for my 11-year-old son with using ChatGPT. So we started using this just a few weeks back, and it's not only for material explanation, but also for like preparing. Like it can produce questions and quizzes and so on. So this is probably 3 of my biggest areas where I use AI in my life. And then touching on like predictions for 12 months. I will mention just three from this State of AI document. So one is something that I don't agree, and they say that level of investment in humanoids will trail off as companies struggle to achieve product market fit. And it might not be 2025 yet, when we will have like robots running around and serving humans and everything. But I think this topic is going to be bigger and bigger, in my opinion, my personal opinion. I mean, they obviously are experts, so maybe it's not going to happen, but I'll totally see how robots can help me in my daily, house chores or something, but we'll see. And the second prediction is strong results from Apple's on-device research accelerates momentum around personal on-device AI. And that actually plugs to some trends where there is this model distillation trend, where they try to take these big models and distill it and make sure that they fit like smaller devices, including our, Apple or any other handsets. So that's already interesting trend. I don't think we heard from Apple yet. I mean, there's this Apple Intelligence, but I think it's in the very, very beginning. But when models become smaller and more powerful, I think we'll be seeing them everywhere. I would like to see it coming. And the third prediction, it's a video game based around interacting with GenAI-based element, we achieve breakout status. And that's interesting because I will have another recommendation for a movie called Free Guy. Guy is a name, and it's a movie about game. And the interesting thing about this movie is that the main character is a non-playable character who is powered by AI, and it's kind of become
self-aware. Is this the one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Free Guy. Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. Like, if people listen and they are interested in AI, there is the State of AI report, which is a huge document, but there are some gems there, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I have it pulled up on the side here, and it looks like this was October 10th, 2024, State of .ai. Okay, I hadn't seen this one. Predictions and everything else. But yeah, AI, obviously I'm biased because I literally quit my job and went all in and focused on AI over the last few months. So, because it is definitely going to be part of everyone's lives, and everything's getting AI-ified in terms of applications, back-end workflow, even how you interact UI with everything. Now everything is turning into a natural language interface as opposed to you figuring out what the CLI syntax is or maneuvering through a GUI and clicking things. Now you just chat with the systems, whatever the systems it may be, or you even skip the chat part and go right into voice, real-time voice. That's also coming more and more.
Any favorite use? I don't say tools, but maybe use of AI?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a lot of, if I'm on this, if you have me back again, I have lots of AI-ified workflows that I think everyone should have serious look at, because it'll just augment your productivity at least 2 times, maybe 10 times, 50 times. Like, we're talking like, instead of days for doing stuff, you're taking, hours or even minutes. It's ridiculous. So to not use it is like, trying to write a letter to someone with a hammer and chisel. Yes. It's like, why do that, right? It's 2024. You either embrace it or... my next topic actually is quite related to it, so I think I'll go with it, that I recommend to folks. Again, not sponsored. This is Cursor.ai. So Cursor is a VS Code editing, or I guess people call it in the past, integrated development environment, where you do programming. And how it is different from GitHub Copilot that you might kind of add on to your VS Code product is that it is a fork made by, I think it's like 5 technical co-founders or something like that. Anyway, a bunch of really smart folks that decided that they needed deeper access into VS Code and how it processes and works directly with the editing window and what it can do in the back end and hooks and all that stuff to really integrate AI LLM predictive next steps for a programmer of what they might want to do. So not just like, hey, go write me a function and it'll just write the function. It's also in the background already figuring out this person's asking for a function. He might already need to open up these other files, or he might need to go to the terminal and run this command, or they'll very soon want to update the README file. So they're always researching things like that. And the big thing is whatever code suggestions and improvements, an AI window, which it'll have on the side, just like, you'd have ChatGPT where you type it on the side and it gives you some code, or with, Claude Sonnet. You don't have to manually copy and paste the code from what was suggested into your text editor window.
Okay.
You just literally, all the suggestions, as they pop up across different files, you just click apply and each of them, and then they would very smartly come up with the diffs and just do the exact surgical edits that's needed. And you're at that point, you're just clicking yeses to say which ones you want, and it looks correct. Or you can just, be lazy, or you trust the system so much and just say yes to everything for the edits. And yeah, what's nice is that you can just keep going through the different files that it might suggest and just clicking yes. So it makes the human still in the loop, and it kind of streamlines that speed of integrating the suggested changes. Because I know there's different ways that some of these companies have offered, like they have the artifact window in Anthropic. I think there's Canvas now in OpenAI, stuff like that. But a lot of it is not working with your file system locally just yet. But this is a very seamless experience, and you still get to drive the car manually if you want. As in, you can still edit what you need, but for the most part, you can just speak in natural language, and it'll implement or bug fix and do everything with you. So it's very, very powerful. I would say this is like the biggest change in our industry for sure, and it's literally 5x, 10x, whatever you want to call it. The productivity speed of every software developer is through the roof now.
Is it the one that can also do UX and UI, or this is different tool? I seen some demo that it was like everything from back end to front end, just text to whatever, button here, button there. It's like, it was mind blowing for me because I never wrote app or anything, but I have few ideas, but obviously you have to have like team of people and stuff. But with all these tools, you just like tell them what to do and job done.
Yeah, there's a lot of startups coming up, and a lot of them trying to figure out how to speed up that UI design to implementation workflow. In fact, it's gotten so good now that some people argue that why even do a mock-up when you can just tell the AI to build your actual thing with the code itself and see what it looks like, the prototype. So there's, at least for me, my experience, you can drop in doodle format on a piece of paper.
Right, yes.
What your UI looks like, what you'd like it to. And today, you don't even need any special tools. You can literally just upload that image to Claude Sonnet 3.5. I haven't really tried with GPT, but I know with Sonnet, you give it something like that, say, can you please implement me a UI that kind of looks like this, and I want you to do it in React Native using, I don't know, some Tailwind CSS or some other library, Material UI from Google, and it'll kind of translate all that into a very usable thing that looks very close to what you want. So that's actually probably another good hack for people. If you don't have deep UI skills, you can literally drop anything, or you can use like Excalidraw or even Paintbrush, whatever it is.
Exactly.
As long as you can represent, here's the boxes, here's like a user, and here's where the things are, and you give it to it, it'll kind of map out the best practice of what people typically do for UI rendering. Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, nowadays it's such a good time to grow up and go into the job market, because you can be very creative, but you don't have programming skills, or you have programming skills, but you're not good at front end, whatever it is. And then if you have idea and just like literally paper and pen, you can do almost everything, right? I mean, not to the point where it's production ready and you are rich and you can retire, but to the point where you can quickly validate.
Yeah, I think you can quickly prototype, validate, get the 80% of the way there. Obviously, the last 20 yards, 20% of productionized security, all that stuff is hard. I think it's exciting that as developers and builders of software and everything, it's getting pushed up now where we're more customer focused of value, customer product market fit stuff, than spending all this money and time on the tedious, no value to customer or really humanity back end things. And now we're liberated from that, and the AI can help us with that. So that's the very positive spin of where AI is helping. I know there's a lot of controversy about taking jobs over and all that kind of stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, I think if you're a builder, it's very exciting that you can move fast and see real usable results. Is it over back to you?
Back to me, which is probably a good segue, because we talked about like how to do things quickly and without effort. My next recommendation is actually a book which goes completely opposite. And the book is The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. I was talking to parents who have kids in the same school, how to help our kids and younger generation to make sure that they are ready for life, right? We are quite active, like we like walk, we like hiking and so on. And I try to impose certain, I would say hardship, but I don't want to say it sounds harsh, but certain obstacles so kids can grow, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the way for everyone. Like if you don't have some obstacles to overcome, I mean, it's too easy and it's boring, and it could lead to crisis, like you are not challenged. And I was trying to name it, like I don't want to say I'm hard on people or anything, but there is certain way of certain things that needs to be difficult for you to be interested in a topic. And this book, I'm still reading this book, so I haven't finished yet, but I think this book is the answer. It's called The Comfort Crisis, and it basically flags a few issues that we have at the moment. Because of all these tools, all things that we have in modern life, we are detached from challenges. Like, if you have current water, you have hot water, hot shower and everything. And at work, you have AIs, whatever. And we are detached from challenges at some point. And this leads to some physical and mental health issues that we seen around. Like people are not challenged and they don't know what to do next. I mean, you can just watch TV and so on. And it's just not good, because the third thing is lack of fulfillment. So if you don't do challenging things, like you don't really feel this sense of achievement and so on. So he proposes that we can overcome. Like one is embrace voluntary discomfort, and especially voluntary. It's a key here. So start some hobbies, start some sports, start even walking. For some people will be already challenging, and then put some constraints on yourself. Then second one is incorporate physical challenges. So I just mentioned it, like, sign up for jiu-jitsu class or anything else that is like physically challenging for you. And the third one is interesting because it's allow boredom and silence. And again, like if you think about this, we keep our mind occupied constantly, and we do not like silence. Like we do not like being with ourselves, walk for like 2 hours, think of nothing, like don't listen to anything and so on. And I found it very, very fascinating how like this is basic psychology, and it used to be different in not very long time ago. Like people were challenged with completely different stuff outside of the control. At the moment, we're lucky to live in free world, and we have all these things that help us to live. And soon there will be robots doing a lot of things for us. And if we don't seek voluntary discomfort in any form of shape, yeah, I think it might be not good for all of us, especially the younger generation. Do you have any thoughts around that, Alvin?
Oh, yeah. Like everything you just mentioned. I know we don't have the camera on the recording video of this, but I'm kind of head shaking, resounding yes. I guess almost every generation goes through this, where the next generation has it a bit better and a bit better, because there's more inventions that make the little things in life easier, or even the big things in life easier and easier. And then the next generation is a little bit less capable if those things go away. So one thing we always joke with, at least my friends and stuff, is, yeah, what if we just threw a modern, I don't know, teenager, or even yourself, like 100 years back from now, are you going to be more effective or less effective? Yeah. Some might argue you'd be less effective because you don't have all those layers of, things done for you. You have to learn, I don't know, how to make fire and lamps yourself, or go and churn your own butter, or stuff like that, where you might have all the knowledge in the world, but also how are you going to have the machinery to do all that? So I think the other main point that you had was the hardship builds better character and better resilience for if stuff does hit the fan, then your children, or they've gone through that, so they won't maybe crack under the pressure, or they know how to respond a bit better, more resilient. So there's something to be said about all that. If everything's too easy, it's kind of like that movie WALL-E, right? With all the fat humans just can't do anything themselves anymore, and their next worry is like, what's the next best, I don't know, TikTok video to watch? That's not a very appealing future for totally. Us. Yeah, I think this reminded me of a quote I heard recently, or saw recently, from Carl Jung. It's no tree, it is said, can grow to the heaven unless its roots reach down to hell.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's kind of like, wow, yeah, that's quite profound. Like the depths of how high you can reach is also a mirror image, potentially, of how
totally
how much hardship and torment you've gone through, so you can recognize, and also overcome.
Yeah, absolutely,
with
absolutely.
Ease.
That's a good one.
All right, I guess back to me. I got another one here. This one's a quick one. That's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because this is about a productivity hack, especially if you're trying to learn things or absorb a lot of material on YouTube, let's say, where, YouTube's amazing. We get a lot of tutorials and tips and tricks, or even good speeches that we want to cover, insights. A lot of people forget, myself included, is that there's a little button or a setting that you can go to the bottom right and just change the speed of the video to go from 1x, which is the default, and just crank it up. So crank it up as high as you can get to the point where you can still absorb it and understand it. For me, lately, I've been going up to like 1.5, depending on the speaker. Sometimes speakers are a bit faster too, so you don't have to go as high. But I find for the most part, the average speaker, I like to have it around there. And I actually, contrary to what people think, I actually absorb it better than when it was slower. Some people might think like, oh, you're speed reading. Are you even like, absorbing or really remembering what you read? But with videos, I think I can get up to a higher speed and it actually becomes better. And the reason I think is because I have less time to be mentally distracted, to want to do something else as the speaker is speaking. Sometimes when you're watching a video, or maybe you're in a bad meeting, like a conference call or something, you like start to go and creep over and, open another browser tab, or you look at your phone and all that. Now, if things are a bit faster and you're getting hit with, I don't know, dopamine of all this knowledge at a constant pace, you're less likely to move away, and at least like my context buffer memory
Yes.
can move along without dropping things smoother. So yeah, give it a try. 1.5x, maybe if you're maybe younger or more advanced, you can go up to 2, but it just starts to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. No relation to my name, please. But yeah, I think that's a easy, cheap hack to implement and give it a try.
Yeah, so a couple of follow-ups in here. I heard recently, but I can't remember where I found it, that there is this psychologically proven like golden spot in terms of like how fast people speak, in opposite to very slowly and so on. I guess in like public speaking, both have they use like, you know, you want to say something profound, so you say like very, very slowly. If you try to be energetic, you just go with probably like higher speed. But there is this golden, like, I don't know how many like words per minute, I guess, or something. I don't know how it's measured. It was, and I know this video shot that was like less than a minute, and the guy explained it. So, and it was just gone when I was watching like shorts.
Oh, okay.
But it hit me. I should probably save it, probably make a note, a mental note for myself. But there is this like a golden words per minute speed that resonates with people the most. So I think that they might
I see.
It might be it.
Okay, yeah. I'm just pulling it up on the side here. It sounds like normal pace. It says 130 to 160 words per minute. Now, I don't know what that feels like. I guess
exactly,
we have to watch some real speeches to compare to it and see what that feels like. But that's interesting. Yeah, I never really thought about it or researched it. Yeah,
because the second thought I thought is it probably depends if you're like native speaker and so on. Because I see what you're saying, like this dopamine and like keep you in this close loop back to just like listen and absorb. Sometimes you just need to slow down just to make sure you actually absorb.
Yeah,
but it's a good tip. I did it recently for some corporate training.
And you just
have it done.
Yeah, it feels good, right? Like if it says like, oh, this tutorial is going to be an hour, and you kind of went through it in half an hour, and you still feel like you understood. You're like, yeah, I'm ahead of the game.
Building on top of what you just said, I also started doing this for shorts, but I think it works for every video because now they have transcript. So you can copy a link to YouTube video to another tool, which is called notebooklm.google. I think that's the one. And it will take transcript, and you can do magic, obviously, because it's AI. So you can summarize it, you can bring main points. So it's almost like a revision for what you just learned and what you want to absorb from this video.
Right. Yeah.
So you can listen to it, and you can drop to this tool and have kind of like a summary with main points for yourself as like your notes, pretended notes that you took.
Yeah, right. Notebook LM. That's the very popular. People are arguing that it's like the next big app for AI after ChatGPT. That's been super popular. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they had they have like a YouTube like automatic link and transcript puller. Like if you just give it the link with it.
Yeah. So if you go to Notebook LM and just,
I didn't know they had that feature.
You can add now a link to URL link to your blog post, but also to YouTube video. Because now I think every video has transcription. Like
whether it's automated or you as a creator can upload.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's good thing because you can basically chat to this video and you can do summary, you can do even like FAQ.
Yeah, okay. Now I just went to the Notebook LM site and it looks like, you can give it a Google Doc, Google Slide, a link to a website, a link to a YouTube video, or just paste text. And then from there, it can create all kinds of things for you. Okay. Oh, I didn't know they had YouTube as well. That's another hack where maybe you're even faster at just visually seeing things than watching and listening to the video. You can go even faster. Yeah,
because different people are different. Like some of them are visual, some of them need to see text and so on. So that's comprehensive. Okay, so from 3 from you, 3 from myself.
Yeah.
plus some extra. I think we have about 10, which is awesome. And we'll be wrapping up because we can spend whole evening here, obviously, but we'll probably save for the next one. Any parting notes or anything you would like to mention before we wrap up?
No, I think this is a lot of fun, actually. I'm looking forward to, I don't know, maybe you're also going to be talking to some other folks in the industry, or if you have me back, I'd love to be back, and we can chat about more of the latest hacks and things we're finding. Maybe it resonates with your audience. Yeah.
That's absolutely the plan. I'm planning to talk to more folks in similar format. For our listeners, let us know what you think. And I hope everything that we mentioned will be helpful. Everything will be in notes, coffeejourneys.blog/podcast, where you can find all links and tools mentioned here. And as usual, keep sipping, keep leading, and keep building incredible teams. See you next time.